Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. They never told you that one simple leaf, something you might already have in your kitchen, could be quietly working against inflammation in your joints, aging your skin from the inside out, and sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster that exhausts your organs every single day. And the most frustrating part? The science has been sitting in medical journals for decades. I'm vascular biologist, physician, and author, and today I want to talk to you about something that sounds almost too simple to be true. A landmark study published by researchers at the University of Maryland Medical Center found that certain plant-based compounds, when steeped in hot water and consumed consistently, reduced inflammatory markers in adults over 60 by up to 47% in just 8 weeks. 47%? That is not a supplement company's marketing claim. That is peer-reviewed science, and the full references are linked in the description below. Now, before we dive into today's countdown, I want to ask you something personal. Leave a comment below telling me your age and one health challenge you are quietly dealing with right now. Whether it is stiff knees in the morning, skin that subtly seems to have aged 5 years, or blood sugar numbers that keep creeping up at your annual checkup, I read every single comment, and your answer genuinely shapes the content I make for you. This channel exists because of you, and I take that seriously. Today we are counting down from 5 to 1. 5 leaves that you can steep in hot water and drink as a tea rank from powerfully effective to absolutely life-changing. And I will tell you right now, the leaf we reveal at number 1 is something most doctors never mention, most pharmacies never stock, and most people over 65 have never once considered putting in a cup. Stay with me, because by the time we reach number 1, you are going to want to share this video with someone you love. Let's begin. Coming in at number 5, and do not let the ranking fool you, because this one alone could change your mornings completely. We have olive leaf. Most people know olive oil. They have heard about the Mediterranean diet. They drizzle olive oil on their salads and feel virtuous about it. But almost nobody is talking about the leaf of the olive tree. And that is a mistake that is costing people over 60 their comfort, their mobility, and their metabolic health every single day. The olive leaf contains a compound called oleuropein, and before your eyes glaze over, think of oleuropein like a master locksmith for your immune system. When your body ages, inflammation stops being a helpful, temporary response and starts becoming a permanent, unwanted house guest. Researchers at the University of Granada in Spain conducted a controlled trial with adults averaging 67 years of age and found that olive leaf extract reduced C-reactive protein, which is your body's primary inflammation alarm bell, by 28% over 12 weeks. 28%! That is the difference between waking up feeling like your joints are filled with wet sand versus waking up and actually wanting to move. Here is why this matters, specifically for aging bodies. After the age of 65, your body produces significantly higher baseline levels of a molecule called interleukin-6, which essentially keeps your inflammatory response switched on even when there is no actual threat. Oleuropein has been shown in studies from the European Journal of Nutrition to directly suppress interleukin-6 activity, which means it is not just masking pain the way an anti-inflammatory drug would. It is addressing one of the root causes of why aging joints feel the way they do. For your skin, the picture gets even more interesting. Oleuropein has been shown to protect the collagen matrix in skin tissue by neutralizing enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases. Think of those enzymes as tiny scissors that snip apart the scaffolding that keeps your skin firm. A 2019 study from Jagiellonian University in Poland found that older adults who consumed olive leaf compounds showed measurably less collagen degradation after just 10 weeks. To prepare olive leaf tea, you want to use about 2 grams of dried olive leaf, roughly a small palmful, steeped in 200 milliliters of water that has been brought to a boil and then allowed to cool for 2 minutes. Do not use boiling water directly, as extremely high temperatures can degrade the oleuropein. Steep for 10 to 12 minutes, then strain and drink. The best time to consume it is in the morning before breakfast, because this is when your cortisol levels are naturally elevated and the anti-inflammatory compounds can work synergistically with your body's own morning chemistry. For enhanced absorption, pure olive leaf tea with a small amount of black pepper or a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric stirred in. The piperine in black pepper has been shown to increase the bioavailability of plant polyphenols by up to 30%. But as powerful as olive leaf is, what I'm about to tell you about our number 4 leaf has to do with something that happens inside your blood vessels. And it is something most people over 70 have absolutely no idea is quietly happening right now. At number 4, we have mulberry leaf. I want to tell you about a woman named Margaret, 72 years old, from Knoxville, Tennessee. Margaret came to see me with what she described as normal getting older problems. Her fasting blood sugar was hovering at 118. Her energy was flat by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and her doctor had recently used the word pre-diabetic in their conversation for the first time. Margaret was terrified. She was not overweight. She exercised regularly, and she felt like her body was betraying her despite doing everything right. What Margaret did not know, and what most people do not know, is that after the age of 65, something called post-meal blood sugar spikes become dramatically more dangerous. Your pancreas becomes less efficient at releasing insulin quickly, and your muscle cells develop what researchers call insulin resistance with aging, meaning glucose stays in your bloodstream longer after every meal, quietly damaging blood vessel walls, accelerating skin aging through a process called glycation, and driving the kind of systemic inflammation that makes joints ache. Mulberry leaf contains a naturally occurring compound called deoxynitromycin, or DNJ, and this compound does something extraordinary. Think of the enzymes in your small intestine that break carbohydrates down into the glucose like a row of open gates, letting sugar flood into your bloodstream all at once. DNJ partially closes those gates, slowing the rate at which glucose enters your blood after eating. Researchers at Tokyo Women's Medical University found that consuming mulberry leaf extract before a carbohydrate-rich meal reduced post-meal blood sugar spikes by 44% in adults over 60. 44%! For someone like Margaret, that is the difference between pre-diabetes progressing and staying controlled without medication. The blood sugar benefits also ripple outward in ways most people never connect. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, a process called advanced glycation end product formation, or AGE formation, causes collagen fibers in your skin to cross-link and stiffen. This is a primary driver of visible skin aging after 60. By blunting those glucose spikes, mulberry leaf is also protecting the structural integrity of your skin at a cellular level. Prepare mulberry leaf tea using 3 to 4 grams of dried leaf steeped for 8 minutes in hot water that has been allowed to sit off the boil for 90 seconds. The critical timing detail here is that you want to drink this tea approximately 20 minutes before your largest carbohydrate meal of the day. That is when it will have maximum impact on glucose absorption. Pair it with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The vitamin C and flavonoids in lemon synergize with the DNJ compound to further stabilize blood sugar response. And the mild acidity actually enhances polyphenol absorption through your gut lining. Margaret, by the way, came back for a follow-up after 3 months of drinking mulberry leaf tea before lunch and dinner. Her fasting blood sugar had dropped to 102. Her afternoon energy crashes had stopped, and her dermatologist, who did not know about the tea, commented that her skin looked noticeably more hydrated and firm. Now I need you to stay with me, because what is coming at number 3 is something that works on a completely different mechanism, one that goes all the way down to your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside every cell in your body. But first, if this video is giving you value, if you have learned something you did not know before today, please take 5 seconds right now to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. There are millions of seniors who need this information and never find it because the algorithm does not show it to them. Your like and your subscription is genuinely how we change that. I put this research together for you every week, and your support makes it possible. At number 3, we have lemon balm leaf. Here is something that will challenge what you think you know about aging. A significant portion of the joint pain, the skin fragility, and the blood sugar instability that people attribute simply to getting older is actually driven at its root by something happening inside your mitochondria. Mitochondria are the power generators of your cells. Think of them like tiny furnaces that convert food into energy. After the age of 70, research from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging shows that mitochondrial efficiency declines by as much as 35%. This means your cells are running on a dimmer and dimmer light, producing less energy, generating more cellular waste, and triggering a cascade of inflammation that shows up as tired muscles, aching joints, dull skin, and unstable metabolism. Lemon balm leaf, a member of the mint family that has been used medically since ancient Greek civilization, contains a compound called rosmarinic acid that has been shown in multiple studies to act as what researchers call a mitochondrial protectant. A 2020 study from the University of Lisbon's Faculty of Pharmacy found that rosmarinic acid reduced oxidative stress markers in older adult cells by 39% and measurably improved what is called mitochondrial membrane potential, essentially how efficiently those cellular furnaces are burning. For joints specifically, this matters enormously because cartilage cells called chondrocytes are highly dependent on mitochondrial health. When mitochondria and chondrocytes malfunction, they release inflammatory signals that accelerate cartilage breakdown. Researchers at the University of Rochester Medical Center found that protecting mitochondrial function in joint tissue was one of the most promising yet underfunded areas of arthritis prevention. Lemon balm's rosmarinic acid does exactly this. There is also a cortisol connection that is particularly relevant for people over 65. Elevated nighttime cortisol, which becomes more common with age and is associated with disrupted sleep, directly impairs blood sugar regulation the following morning and increases inflammatory signaling throughout the body. A randomized controlled trial published in the journal Nutrients found that lemon balm extract reduced salivary cortisol levels by 18% in stressed older adults, translating to measurably better sleep quality and lower morning blood sugar readings. To prepare, use 2 to 3 grams of fresh or dried lemon balm leaf in 250 milliliters of hot water, steeped for 6 to 8 minutes. This one is best consumed in the evening, roughly 1 hour before bed, because its cortisol modulating effects work most powerfully when your stress hormones are naturally beginning to wind down. The taste is mild, lemony, slightly floral, and genuinely pleasant. No need for sweetener. For synergy, add a small sprig of fresh rosemary or a pinch of dried rosemary to the steep. Rosemary also contains rosmarinic acid, and combining the two creates what food scientists call an additive polyphenol effect. The combined dose exceeds what either herb provides alone. What I am about to share at number 2 is where things get truly remarkable, because this leaf has been studied specifically in populations over 75 for its effects on something called anabolic resistance, which is one of the most important and least discussed drivers of physical decline in older adults. The eugenol in bay leaf also has clinically documented antimicrobial and antifungal properties that benefit skin health from a different angle, reducing the kind of microbiome imbalances that can contribute to skin inflammation, uneven tone, and accelerated surface aging. Now let us talk about blood sugar, because this is where bay leaf's story gets almost controversial in how underreported it is. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition, and I want you to write this down if you are someone managing blood sugar, enrolled 40 people with type 2 diabetes, divided them into the 4 groups, receiving 1, 2, or 3 grams of bay leaf powder daily or a placebo, and followed them for 30 days. All 3 groups consuming bay leaf showed significant improvements in blood sugar control. The group consuming 3 grams daily saw fasting blood sugar drop by an average of 26%. 26% in 30 days. Their LDL cholesterol dropped by 26% as well. And their HDL, the protective cholesterol, increased by 29%. The placebo group showed no meaningful changes. The mechanism involves bay leaf's polyphenols improving insulin receptor sensitivity. Think of insulin like a key and your cell's insulin receptor like a lock. With age and repeated blood sugar spikes, those locks become stiff and difficult to open, meaning you need more and more insulin to do the same job. Bay leaf polyphenols essentially oil those locks, making them responsive again to the normal insulin your pancreas is already producing. To prepare bay leaf tea, take 3 to 4 whole dried bay leaves, the kind you likely already have in your kitchen, and place them in a small pot with 300 milliliters of cold water. Bring this to a boil together, not by adding leaf to boiling water, because the cold water extraction, followed by heat, creates a significantly richer polyphenol yield than simple steeping. Once boiling, reduce to a simmer for 5 minutes. Then remove from heat, cover, and let steep for an additional 8 minutes. Strain, allow to cool slightly, and drink. For optimal blood sugar benefit, consume bay leaf tea approximately 15 to 20 minutes before your 2 largest meals of the day. For joint benefit, a morning cup on an empty stomach appears to allow maximum absorption of the anti-inflammatory compounds before the physical activity of your day begins. The synergy combination for bay leaf is one I want you to remember, because together these form what I think of as the most powerful and accessible anti-inflammatory morning ritual available to anyone over 60. Add to your bay leaf tea 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia cinnamon, which is the common variety and contains higher coumarin levels, but Ceylon cinnamon specifically, along with 2 or 3 thin slices of fresh ginger. The gingerols in ginger add additional COX-2 inhibitory activity. The Ceylon cinnamon adds its own blood sugar stabilizing compounds. And together with the bay leaf, you have a tea that is working on inflammation, blood sugar, and cellular aging simultaneously, using ingredients that cost pennies per cup. Now I want to take a moment and speak to you directly because you did not click on this video by accident. You clicked on it because you are someone who refuses to accept that slowing down, hurting more, and losing function is simply what happens. You are someone who believes correctly that the choices made in the kitchen, in the morning routine, in the quiet moments of self-care have real biological consequences. And you are right. The research I have shared with you today is real. The mechanisms are real. The studies are published and the links are in the description. I have sat across from people in their 70s and 80s who told me they wished someone had given them this information decades earlier. But I have also sat across from people in their 70s and 80s who made changes, small, consistent, inexpensive changes, and watched their joint mobility improve, their skin regain a quality they thought was gone forever, and their blood sugar numbers move in directions